Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make salt dough ornaments which we're going to use to decorate the shed. You may have heard Julie talking about us all, when we're able to gather in small groups again, going to the allotment and decorating the shed together. So I thought we could make some little decorations that we can hang on the side of the shed that will remind us of this time. So for the salt dough we will need some flour, salt and water, and that is pretty much it. We will be using the oven, so remember to get some help of somebody when we're using the oven, just because it's hot. So you need to measure out half a cup of plain flour. If you don't have cup measurements, but you do have scales, it's about 125 grams. If you don't have either, you could use, if you've got any small glasses or cups, you could use one of those to measure it. And as long as you measure the salt using the same cup, that will be fine. So half a cup of that, or a small glass. A quarter of a cup of salt, which is about 65 grams if you've got scales. Pour that in. Grab a spoon, mix those two together. When they're all mixed, both mixed together, you need to add around 60 millilitres of water, which is a quarter of a cup, the same amount as the salt. You might not need all of this, so just add it cautiously. We want to make a dough that we can roll and shape, so you can't have it too sticky. See, I think I may have added slightly too much water there, which is fine if you have. Just add a tiny bit more flour and a tiny bit more salt. Okay. Roll it up in your hands. Might get a bit messy here. There we go, so we've got a ball now. Pop the bowl to one side. Okay, so once you have your ball, you need to put some flour on the work surface. This way it doesn't stick to the worktop when we're shaping it. So we need to roll it out now. You don't want it to be too thick that it doesn't firm up and cook in the oven, but you don't want it to be too thin that it will end up breaking. So you can either press it down with your hands, or if you've got a rolling pin, use that. I don't have a rolling pin, so if you've got one, I could use this salt. Push it out a bit. Or whatever you can find, really. Okay, so that's the right sort of thickness that you want. So now you need to choose what shape you want to make. So something that's personal to you. So you will make your mark on the shed. So you could do flowers, hearts, you could do a rainbow, you could do your initials for your name, anything you can think of really. It doesn't have to be a shape of something, it could just be a shape. The only thing that you need to remember is that we need to put a hole in the top, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So the shape I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do a flower. So I've cut out a little template of a petal shape here, and I'm just going to go around it. Okay, pull the rest away. With what you've got left over, you could make some more to keep for yourself. You could, for your house or Christmas tree or your garden. May as well use up all of the dough. But I'll just show you this one for now. I'll just neaten up the edges a bit. Okay, so there is my flower. Now, if you get something like a pencil or a paintbrush, you can quite easily pierce a hole through. Now we need to make sure we have this hole, because this is what we will, once it's been cooked, we won't be able to mess around with it without breaking it. So we put the hole through now. It means that once it's been cooked, we can put some string through it and hang it, and that's what will make it an ornament. I'm just going to neaten up these edges a little bit. Okay, that will do. Right, so once you have your shape or shapes, when you've used up all your dough, you need a baking tray with some baking paper on. If you don't have any of this paper, like we did on the work surface, if you just sprinkle a little bit of flour down, that should stop it from sticking. So pop your things on your baking tray, and you need to put it on the lowest oven heat. So whatever your lowest setting is on your oven, pop it on that, and rather than cooking it, we're basically drying it out, which makes it go hard. So you just need it on a really low setting so it doesn't burn or anything, and cook it for about 2 to 3 hours, and just keep checking it. Once 2 hours has finished, check it. You might need to turn it over at one point to make sure the other side can cook through as well. And once it's hard, turn the oven off and just leave it in there for the oven to completely cool down, because that will continue to firm it up a bit. I'll send you out a worksheet to go along with this, so you've got some instructions written down to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys can come up with.